Welcome to Spook Kids. In a dark and mysterious forest, there lived a lonely man named Victor. This forest was unlike any other. Its trees had gnarled branches that seemed to reach out like skeletal fingers, and the leaves whispered eerie secrets when the wind rustled through them. Victor's small cabin stood at the heart of this ominous wilderness. Victor had come to the forest seeking solitude, hoping to escape the noise and chaos of the outside world. However, as the days turned into weeks, he realized that he was not alone. Strange occurrences began to unfold. At night, Victor would hear faint, ghostly whispers outside his cabin. It was as though the forest itself was murmuring dark secrets. He would often wake up to find the trees casting eerie, elongated shadows, their branches twisting and contorting in unnatural ways. Despite his fear, Victor couldn't bring himself to leave the forest, as it had become his home. One moonless night, a chilling fog rolled in, blanketing the forest in an otherworldly haze. Victor, unable to sleep, decided to explore the forest to uncover the source of his unease. Armed with a lantern, he ventured into the depths of the sinister woods. As he walked deeper into the forest, Victor noticed strange symbols etched into the trees. They seemed to glow with an otherworldly light, illuminating his path. His heart pounded, and his breath quickened with each step. Suddenly, he stumbled upon a decrepit, long-forgotten graveyard, hidden within the forest's heart. The gravestones were weathered and covered in moss, and the names etched into them were all unfamiliar. It was as though the forest held the memories of the long-forgotten and the restless. Victor's lantern flickered, casting eerie shadows on the gravestones. That's when he heard it, the faint, mournful wailing of a child. It echoed through the forest, sending shivers down his spine. He followed the haunting sound, his lantern guiding the way. The wailing led him to a gnarled, ancient tree with roots that twisted and writhed like serpents. At the base of the tree, he discovered a small, weathered doll, its porcelain face cracked and eyes empty. It was the source of the eerie cries. Victor picked up the doll, his hands trembling. As he did, the forest came alive with a sinister energy. The trees moaned, their branches reaching down to him like skeletal hands. The symbols on the trees glowed brighter, revealing a horrifying truth. The forest was cursed, and Victor had unwittingly become a part of its malevolent story. Desperate to escape, Victor ran back to his cabin, but the forest seemed to have a mind of its own. The trees closed in around him, their branches forming a sinister barrier. He could hear the voices of the long-forgotten souls trapped within the woods, their agonized cries filling the night. Victor knew he had to break the curse, and the only way to do so was to return the doll to its resting place in the graveyard. With his lantern flickering and fear gnawing at his soul, he made his way back to the graveyard. As he gently placed the doll on an unmarked grave, the earth beneath him trembled. The forest let out a mournful howl, and the symbols on the trees faded into darkness. Victor's heart ached as he felt the presence of the lost souls finally finding peace. The curse was broken, and the forest returned to its eerie, silent state. Victor, now truly alone, left the woods, never to return. The children of the nearby village would hear his tale as a cautionary one, of a lonely man who sought solitude in a forest of nightmares, only to become a part of its haunting story. And so, the dark and mysterious forest remained, waiting for the next lost soul to venture into its depths. Unaware of the horrors that lay within, Victor left the cursed forest behind, haunted by the memories of his terrifying encounter. He returned to civilization, but the horrors of the woods lingered in his mind. He couldn't shake the feeling that the forest was still out there, waiting for the next unsuspecting soul to wander into its depths. Years passed, and Victor tried to put the past behind him. He moved to a small village at the edge of the forest, hoping to find some semblance of peace in a new life. However, the village was not untouched by the eerie presence of the forest. Locals spoke in hushed tones about strange happenings, disappearing livestock, and unexplained phenomena. One day, as Victor was exploring the village, he stumbled upon a group of children playing near the edge of the forest. Their laughter and carefree spirit brought back memories of the children he had encountered in the cursed woods. A chill ran down his spine. Curiosity got the better of him, and he approached the children. "Hello, young ones," he said with a forced smile. "What brings you to the edge of the forest?" The children introduced themselves as Clara, Henry, Sophia, and Thomas. They were siblings who had recently moved to the village with their parents. They had heard the village's eerie stories about the forest, but couldn't resist the temptation to explore its mysteries. Victor couldn't bear to see these innocent children venture into the same dark woods that had haunted him. He shared his own harrowing experience with them, hoping to deter them from entering the cursed forest. Clara, the eldest of the siblings, listened intently to Victor's tale. Her eyes widened with fascination and fear, but she remained determined. "Thank you for your warning, Mr. Victor," she said. "But we're not afraid. We'll be careful, and besides, we've always felt a strange connection to the forest." Victor pleaded with them to reconsider, but the children were resolute. They believed they could uncover the mysteries of the forest and perhaps even break its curse. Victor's heart ached with concern, but he couldn't dissuade them. As the days passed, Victor watched with growing anxiety as the siblings explored the forest's edge. He feared that history would repeat itself and the cursed forest would claim new victims. He couldn't bear the thought of these children suffering the same fate as him. One evening, a dense fog settled over the village, mirroring the ominous events that had transpired years ago. Victor knew he had to act. Armed with his lantern and a renewed sense of determination, he ventured into the forest once more, this time to rescue the children. The forest, however, had changed. The symbols on the trees had returned, glowing ominously. The eerie whispers grew louder, echoing through the woods like a sinister choir. Victor felt the malevolent energy of the forest intensifying as he delved deeper. After what seemed like hours, he reached the clearing where he had first encountered Clara and her siblings. To his horror, he found the children standing there, their eyes vacant. As if in a trance, they were surrounded by twisted, contorted trees, their branches resembling skeletal arms. "Clara, Henry, Sophia, Thomas!" Victor cried out, rushing to their side. But the children did not respond. They remained trapped in the forest's sinister grip. Desperation overcame him, and Victor realized that he had to confront the source of the curse once and for all. He followed the symbols on the trees, which led him to the same ancient, gnarled tree where he had found the haunted doll years ago. There, beneath the tree's twisted roots, he discovered a hidden chamber, illuminated by an eerie, pulsating light. Inside, he found a collection of forgotten relics, each one emanating a malevolent aura. At the center of the chamber lay a withered ancient tome, its pages filled with dark incantations. Victor understood that the only way to free the children and break the forest's curse was to destroy the tome and its dark magic. With trembling hands, he gathered the relics, placed them around the book, and lit them on fire. As the flames consumed the tome, a terrible scream filled the forest, and the symbols on the trees flickered and vanished. The forest convulsed in agony, and the twisted trees began to wither and crumble. The fog lifted, and the eerie whispers faded into silence. Victor rushed back to the clearing, where the children had regained their senses. They looked at him with gratitude and relief, no longer under the forest's spell. Clara, with tears in her eyes, thanked Victor for saving them from the cursed woods. The village rejoiced at the return of the children, and Victor, though haunted by his experiences, found solace in knowing that he had prevented another generation from falling victim to the malevolent forest. As the years passed, the forest regained its natural beauty, and its dark reputation faded into legend. Victor, now a guardian of the woods, often visited the forest's edge to ensure that its curse remained broken. And so, the cursed forest, once a place of nightmares, became a place of cautionary tales and reverence for the villagers. Victor's story served as a reminder that even in the face of darkness, courage and determination could break the most malevolent of curses and bring light to the darkest of woods.